Hi, my name is Anthony,
And I'm Doug.
and this is Pop Gamer.
We sat down with the people behind the new arcade restoration show, High Score.
Yep, and those awesome people are Todd Tuckey, owner of TNT Amusements.
And the creators of the show, Nate Hall and Corey Armideo.
Here are some highlights from the interview. Check it out.
Well, you know what's it's so unique. We always talked. Everybody said, "Todd, you should do a reality show." I was never ever going to do a reality show. I'm working 14, 16 hours a day. These two guys came into my place a week after I returned from my major heart attack 6 months ago, because today was my 6-month checkup and all is well. And they brought a trailer reel that they had made. They had actually assembled all this footage from YouTube videos I put up. As you know, I probably have about 60 videos up on YouTube. And took pieces and chunks, and then they added footage of them talking like in a reality show about what they're seeing. They put this really fantastic thing together, and they sold me instantly. I said, wow, this is great. And just imagine if we actually do it right.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic. And
we started shooting the next day.
The next day we were shooting.
Okay, well, the budget for starters was whatever extra Nate and I could squeeze out of our paychecks for the most part.
There's a lot of nice equipment here.
Yeah.
I'm surrounded by a lot of nice equipment.
Basically, right now it takes place at TNT Amusements, which is in Southampton, Pennsylvania.
Right when we started filming, when we had approached Todd with the idea to, make the pilot for the reality, at that time he had a set of 20 games that were going out to, a couple were going to Illinois and a couple were going to Michigan that, his guys had to personally take out there because it was such a large order. So, that's one thing that we'll definitely be going with the show. We'll have a lot of traveling going along between acquisition, going to pick something up and dropping stuff off. But for the most meat and potatoes of the fixing stuff, that's right there in Southampton. So, there's a little bit of everything in there. Well, see, that's the beauty part about this is with the arcades, when you watch American Restoration, everybody loves seeing the old stuff get fixed up. Everybody loves, seeing antiques and, Americana. With the arcade, we're not just aiming it. This doesn't just hit, a hardcore crowd or the collector's crowd. If you grew up anytime between somewhere in the late 50s when, that's about it. Late 50s, the mechanics started really coming in and getting big, all the way up until, the 90s and early 2000s. You remember an arcade at some point in time, especially in the 80s. Nate and I, we grew up in the 80s. You remember getting kicked out of the house with a handful of quarters because mom couldn't deal with you anymore. And you go down to either the corner store or the arcade where there's a machine at, and you just blow hours and quarters in there. So, this isn't just aiming towards a certain group. This is more of, we're aiming towards nostalgia.
Basically, back in 1996, Corey and I went to the same high school where they taught video production and whatnot. And we got an internship at a TV station in Delaware where we were at the time. And while we worked there on other people's shows, we decided to create our own TV show called Some Show, which was a video game and culture and movies type show where kind of like you see on YouTube now or G4 channel where it's like Attack of the Show. But we did that back in 97.
Back in the early 70s, my uncle had a boat dock in Tennessee. He wanted me to buy games for that place. So my best friend and I bought a vendor's extra equipment. I guess I was 17 or 18 years old. And we bought it with the idea of putting them in locations and in this place down in Tennessee, etc. They were all mechanical back then. Pinballs, mechanical driving games, that sort of thing. And it was all a hobby, and it stayed a hobby until 79. And that's when the big stuff hit. The Space Invaders, asteroids, it became really big. Now it's finding good quality equipment that wasn't underwater or, in some leaky barn, as you'll see in one of our episodes. But that's always going to be the difficult part because, remember, every day there's less machines.
That's Clementine. She was locked up at one point.
Hi, Clementine. Oh,
She
goodness
slipped out.
gracious. Oh, my.
As of last week, we've actually just got signed with a production company that's going to take it to market called Film Garden Productions. They've done a lot of different shows for TLC, AMC. I don't know. Have you seen the Fear Fest on AMC last October? When it had Romero actually running stuff.
The American Hauntings. They
They
did
had
that.
the American Haunters in between the different movies. They'd cut to the different clips, and there was a like a small little segment called American Haunters where they showed a guy who was doing his own haunted house, and they did kind of like a mini reality series there.
And they do the Amazing Wedding Cakes and Wild Hoggers or something like that. All those.
And now
reality
they're gonna do our show, High Score.
And if you could see what we could do with 2 people, just imagine what we could do with an entire crew.
Yeah.
These guys could do it
Yes.
themselves.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This show is absolutely positively going to get a lot of people interested in arcade games again.